that black folks with college degrees are 80% more likely than white folks with degrees to be unemployed in any given year. Latinx folks with college degrees are about 50% more likely to be unemployed than white folks with a degree, even in the same field. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders with a degree, about 20% more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. Indigenous folks with a degree, about 2/3 more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. So even when black and brown folks do all the same stuff, stay in class, get the same degree, they are still not having the same outcomes. We know right now that the typical white family in America with a high school dropout as the head of household actually has 25% more net worth than a black household headed by a college grad. Let me say that again because you will not hear it mentioned in the mainstream press. White households headed by high school dropouts have more net worth, about 20% more in most years. Sometimes it gets up to 30, sometimes it drops to 15, but usually about 20% greater net worth than black households headed by college grads. So if education was a great equalizer, that wouldn't be true, but it is true.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Rukwak, Wadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to my Akiwak, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from his pocket today, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations, who are actually Yasharallah. His brother Kawak up creature, no listen. In today's lesson, this is something I've never heard of in my life. It makes sense, kinda, I guess, but it is something that I am so baffled by. I never have heard this statistic before. I've genuinely never heard this statistic before. Alright, so basically, this whole thing of, oh, we need to educate the people, we need to educate people, we need to educate so-called black people and whatnot, when in actuality, it's not helping. And all that stuff with people saying, oh, education is key and whatnot, but yet all that education, all right, it doesn't do anything, all right. There's a bunch of he said 80%. Let's listen to it again, because they said that high college dropouts or high school dropouts, like here, of Edomite families have more net worth than college graduate so-called black families. That's insane.
Americans and Pacific Islanders with a degree, about 20% more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. Degrees are about 50, that black folks with college degrees are 80% more likely than white folks with degrees to be unemployed in any given year. Latinx folks with college degrees are about 50% more likely to be unemployed than white folks with a degree, even in the same field. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders with a degree, about 20% more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. Indigenous folks with a degree, about 2/3 more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. So even when black and brown folks do all the same stuff, stay in class, get the same degree, they are still not having the same outcomes. We know right now that the typical white family in America with a high school dropout as the head of household.
Oh, so hold on. He didn't even say high school graduate. He said high school dropout. A high school dropout. All right, that's insane. Now that is like genuine insanity.
Actually has 25% more net worth than a black household headed by a college grad. Let me say that again because you will not hear it mentioned in the mainstream press. White households headed by high school dropouts have more net worth, about 20% more in most years. Sometimes it gets up to 30, sometimes it drops to 15, but usually about 20% greater net worth than black households headed by college grads. So if education was a great equalizer, that wouldn't be true. But it...
That, like, what, Slocky? I'm just baffled. It's just like, what do you want me to, like, what do I say? Like, that's genuinely insane. All right? Like, and that's the thing, you know, whenever you are younger, you're always told, oh yeah, go to college, go do this, go do that, you're gonna make it, everything's gonna be fine, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah. They lie to you. So many people lie to you. All right? I was just having, Slocky, let me stop. But basically, I remember when I was, younger, all right, I kept on hearing, oh yeah, do this, do that, you have to do this, X, Y, and Z. Education is important and stuff like that. Well, it's just like, this is the result of it. Like, it still didn't matter because the system is not in place for us to succeed. The system is made for us to fail. All right. So as a result of that, the things are working towards Esau's success and Israel's destruction, Israel's failure, Israel's just degradation. Okay, like this is we are literally seeing this. All right, I genuinely did not know about this until I saw this video. But I'm baffled. As a matter of fact, I have to fucking share this. All right, Slocky, hold on, because I didn't even think about that. Hold up, hold up. Let me see something. Slocky, I had to share that, and I'm going to post it on my community page as well because this is genuinely surprising. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get into these precepts, okay? Because this is very important to know and to understand. All right, that Jeremiah 10, verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And that's the thing where our people, the Israelites, they are learning the way of the heathen. The way the heathen goes is like, oh, education, oh, college, oh, this and the third, whatever. They go after that, and they go after that, and then as a result of that, of them going after that, it, it's it's trying to live. They're trying to live. It's kind of like, for example, a house cat trying to live the life of a lion. The house cat is not developed to live like a lion, or better yet, a more appropriate example, a cat trying to live the life of a fish. All right, to better show the thing. There may be some similarities to. No, sorry. I am. Let me full restart. Full reset. Full reset. Okay, Slocky. Basically, an example is the cat and the fish. Okay, they're two separate things. They live in two separate environments. All right, it's not going to work. There may be some other ethnicities where you can compare to be a cat and a lion. Okay, sure, there are some similarities there, but ultimately it's still not enough. It's still not good because, again, the system is put in place only for that for the fish, or only for the lion. All right. So as a result of that, that's where you're gonna being being what actually being in your element, being in your environment, being in your habitat is what's going to allow you to properly thrive. All right. So if it's water, if you don't have fins, if you're not a fish, then you are not going to be able to swim and make it in the thing. If you are a cat trying to swim, you're going to drown. You're going to die. Okay. It is not set up for you. So as a result of that, we are not supposed to be learning the way of the heathen and taking up after these heathen customs. All right. We're supposed to focus on what are we supposed to do what we need to do, but at the same time, focus on, okay, rebuke, returning to Yahawah and Yahawadah. All right. And as a result of that, let me also get this Isaiah. I mean, that's true. But Isaiah over here, primarily 30, verse 1. Will the rebellious children say to the Lord, I take counsel, but not of me, and I cover with the current, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that have walked to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to shrink themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Okay, where again, now over here they're going in and saying, oh, uh, mama fish, papa fish, whatever, which is basically Esau. All right. How do I swim? So you are a cat asking a fish how to swim, and the fish is just saying, "Oh, you just swim. Just put yourself up by the bootstraps and swim." And then when you actually attempt to swim, you're just drowning. you're dying. You don't know what to do. You're afraid of the water. You're all these metaphoric similarities or parables that you want to extrapolate from it. You can't. You basically cannot do it. It's not meant for you. Okay, people did the thing the American way, all that crap, and they weren't able to make it. They people listened and did what they were told. It still did not work out for them, and there was failure. There was failure in it. All right, there was fail. They failed. They they drowned. Okay, they tried to swim, and then they drowned. So as a result of that, this is what we have. And we also get this. Let me see if I have it over here. No, I don't. Good. So let's get this. Isaiah 30, verse 10, which says to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not, to us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus said the Holy One of Israel, because he despised his word, and trusts in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly and instant. So basically, this the judgment is going to come upon these people because they had chosen to trust in oppression and perverseness. So trusting in Esau is what is going to lead to their destruction. They're going to have to answer to YAHAWAH for basically going against the Lord. Everyone, suck it, not everyone, but well, yes, everyone's going to know, but everyone, and to say things shortly, everyone does know that we're supposed to be following after Yahawadah. Everyone does know that this society is wicked and it's unfair and it's wrong and it basically plays favorites and stuff like that. Tries and it's made. People have said that the system is set up to make you fail. You are intended to fail in the system. I remember saying that. I'm not saying that. I remember hearing that when I was going to fucking elementary school. When I was in elementary school, I heard, what was it? I was like maybe like I was like 10 or something, not 10, maybe like 12 or whatever. I remember hearing, and I will never forget that. Slocky, I will never forget that. I remember hearing them say the system is set up to make you fail. I remember hearing that shit from the teachers. They said, even though it's set up to make you fail, you still have to do this, you still have to do that, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And like, it's like, imagine that, like, a freaking child, all right? A child is hearing that the people, the system that they live under, not just me, by the way. It was all the kids at my school when I was there. But we're over here listening to this teacher say the system is set up to make you fail. And by the way, it was not in a white school, but yeah, it was the teacher saying the system is made up to make you fail. You have to do this, you have to do that, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And then lo and behold, lo and behold, like as a kid, it's just like what are you supposed to? How are you supposed to feel when you hear that it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter all the things that you try to be good, you try to do your part, they still, even when you try to listen, you try to obey, just like how you listen to your parents, and then your parents are supposed to reward you, your parents are supposed to love you and all this stuff. But when the system that's put in place, it says when you obey, when you follow the rules, it does not matter. You are still, they're still going to hope and pray on your downfall, and or if they don't pray on your downfall, they're going to try to get involved to put you in your downfall in some way, shape, or form. All right, like this. That's the type of stuff. As a matter of fact, I heard Slocky, I'm rambling, but I heard this one story of this one dude, this one Jake, who got arrested and accused and accused of a crime that he did not commit. He was that was one of the he said that was one of the most stressful time in his life, where he was just going through that terribleness of having to go to the court, always having to freaking he almost what's the word? He almost got sent to locked up and sent to jail because of something that he didn't do. He had nothing involved in, and it's just like, again, like the this is how the system is. Like, because you are a Jake, like things like this stuff can happen to you, and these officers, they really do not care. You are just a statistic. You are just another, like, it's kind of like the police officers are a bunch of dumbass players, and they're just trying to kill anything in a video game. All right, they just see us as like these little NPCs that just need to be these little enemy NPCs that just need to be shot at and whatnot. All right, it's like it's like GTA, and they see a black person. It's like, oh, let's go shoot that dude. Let's go do this. Let's go do that, and all that stuff. Like, there's no regard for human life. All right, Slovakia, but that's like honestly, that's basically how things are. All right. Anyway, going back to the original topic, yeah, this is trusting in oppression, because people are trusting oppression. They think, oh, money. It's not enough money. Education is the thing. If more people are educated, then we would be able to, then they would be able to do this, they would be able to do that, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But no, clearly that's not the case. That's a lie. Psalms 62 verse 10, trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Okay, so trust not in oppression, that's number one. Esau is telling us, you have to go get an education, you have to go do this, you have to go do that. All right, uh, and then through money, which could be bribery. All right, people are getting money and stuff like that. They think, oh, I have money, I'm gonna do this, or Esau is good because this, or life is good, blah blah, and then they just end up loving the oppressive system and completely forgetting that. Oh well, do you realize that you had to work 10 times as hard just to get to that level? All right, whereas Esau, a regular Edomite doesn't have to work as hard. A high school dropout Edomite has more net worth than a freaking
Usually about 20% greater net worth than black households headed by college grads. So if education
so a so-called black college graduate has less net worth than a high school dropout Edomite. That just goes to show you who 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 wins at the end of it. That goes to show you who wins at the end of this society. This society is not for us. All right, let me get that as a matter of fact. Micah 2:10, 2 in verse 10, rising in the part, for this is not your rest, is because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, and with the sword destruction. This is polluted. This world, this society is polluted. We're not supposed to be seeking after this. We're only supposed to be seeking after the kingdom. Judges 10 verse 14, go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen, let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. And again, like, these people are putting Esau at the top of their priority list rather than Yahawadah and His, and it's such a sad thing to see, because, like, rather than trusting in something that is good and righteous, they would rather trust in they would rather trust in, oh, what did Esau say? Esau said to do this. Oh, Esau's morality is this. Oh, Esau's morality is proper. Like, no. All right. Yes, we have to follow up to the laws of the land, of course, but that doesn't mean that Esau gets the last say in things. All right, but don't break the law, but you don't follow after Esau's philosophies. All right. Um, let's go next to, but and also again to finish this verse out, um, especially when time of trouble comes, especially Jacob's trouble, then you can go and ask Esau for help. Especially if you're Jake, he's not going to help you. He's going to leave you to die. All right. Now Deuteronomy 12 verse 30: Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, How did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. And that's the thing where they're following after their wicked gods, and you have Jake that just wants to go and copy, go and follow after that. Well, destruction is waiting. Destruction is waiting for destruction is waiting for Jake as a result of that. All right. So yeah, Slakia, this is just some. This was kind of a rant, I will admit, but this is also Yahawadah edifying because you're able to see and acknowledge that this is this is not our this is not our kingdom, and we're not supposed to be trying to make it in this world. Okay, it's impossible for us to do so. All right, because well, not necessarily impossible, but only things can just easily be taken away. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahawadah, Hashem, or Kwakwadosh, double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, and Bible, and Shalom.